Today's episode of Looping Through Life is brought to you by the band Fictional Reality. Listen now on Spotify. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Off the Rails. We are diving into another coaster today, and what a historic coaster we are diving into. With argument's sake and all due sake, you really wouldn't have any of the new coasters you have today, like King to Ka, Fury 325, any of the big giant coasters today without this coaster, and that is the Matterhorn over at Disneyland in Anaheim, California, and is the first ever tubular steel roller coaster in existence.
Ah, yes, the Matterhorn. Built by Disney back when they still gave a shit about innovation instead of upcharging toddlers for emotional access to a goddamn meet and greet.
I mean, it really was groundbreaking, though. For its time, it changed the coaster design altogether.
And somehow, you've changed nothing except the brand of frozen pizza you cry into. You get misty-eyed watching old ride footage, but can't commit to a gym membership.
All I'm saying is that the Matterhorn is iconic.
So is herpes. Doesn't mean it's a good time. Let's talk about this icy death tube of a ride.
The Matterhorn Bobsleds at Disneyland. It's rough, it's legendary, and yes, it counts as 2 coaster credits if you're that kind of enthusiast. Let's dive in. Let's rewind to the 1950s. Disneyland had just opened in 1955, and Walt Disney was already thinking about ways to plus up his park. One of the weird things about early Disneyland was this hill in the middle of Fantasyland. Literally, just a dirt mound left over from construction, nicknamed Holiday Hill. At one point, it was used for picnics and makeout spots for bored teenagers. Walt hated that, so in true Disney fashion, he turned an awkward pile of dirt into one of the most groundbreaking attractions in theme park history. Walt took a trip to Switzerland while filming Third Man on the Mountain in 1958. Inspired by the real Matterhorn, he sent a postcard back to his team with one note: "Build this." That's not a myth, that's real Disney history. And in true Imagineering style, they did just that. With some help from coaster engineering pioneers, the Matterhorn Bobsleds officially opened on June 14, 1959, alongside the monorail and the submarine voyage, in what Disney called his second opening day. And while those other rides were cool, the Matterhorn was revolutionary. It was the first ever tubular steel roller coaster in the world, designed by Arrow Development, the same company that would later go on to shape the coaster industry with rides like the original Runaway Mine Train and Space Mountain. Before Matterhorn, coasters were all wooden, clunky, heavy, hard to maintain. But with tubular steel rails, Arrow and Disney opened the door to smoother turns, more precise layouts, and complex ride systems that simply weren't possible before. But don't get the wrong idea. Smoother than wood doesn't mean smooth. The Matterhorn is notoriously jerky, especially by modern standards. It's a 1-to-1 ratio of airtime and chiropractic needs. The mountain stands 147 feet tall and contains 2 separate tracks, the Tomorrowland side and the Fantasyland side. Each side has its own unique layout, making them 2 separate coaster credits if you're the type of person who tracks that. Fantasyland is a bit longer and more twisty. Tomorrowland has tighter turns and more aggressive drops. Most riders can't tell the difference unless they're really paying attention. But coaster nerds will absolutely ride both and argue about which is better. Inside the mountain, the theming evolved over time. In the beginning, it was mostly just a dark coaster with a few crystals and caves thrown in. But in 1978, Disney added the abominable snowman, affectionately known by fans as Harold. Animatronic Harold would roar and swipe at riders from his icy cave, quickly becoming a fan favorite. That same year, they also added glacier effects, falling snow illusions, and better lighting to give the mountain a more immersive feel. The bobsleds themselves have changed several times over the years. Early models were simple lap-sit cars where two guests would sit on top of each other. Yeah, nothing awkward about that. In the 1978 overhaul, the trains were redesigned into sleek individual seats, and in 2012, they were updated again for better safety and comfort. Though comfort is still a loose term when it comes to the Matterhorn. In 2015, the ride got another major upgrade. That's when Garner Holt Productions, best known for building world-class animatronics, stepped in to create 3 brand-new abominable snowman figures. These versions are faster, more fluid, and definitely more intimidating. They also added new projection effects to simulate an avalanche, giving the ride an extra kick of danger. In 2023, the ride went through a major retrack, which had coaster fans buzzing. While Disney kept quiet on a lot of the details, insiders and construction watchers noted that sections of the track were replaced with precision-welded tubular steel, bringing the ride up to modern safety and performance standards. The retrack helped smooth out some of the roughest transitions and extended the ride's lifespan for years to come. So yes, the Matterhorn might beat you up a little less than it used to. Might. As for ride stats, the bobsleds hit a top speed of around 27 miles per hour. But thanks to tight turns and sudden dips, it feels faster. The ride lasts about 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And with 2 sides operating at once, it keeps guests moving at a decent pace. By Disney standards, anyway. And let's not forget, the Matterhorn is entirely unique. There's no clone of this ride at any other Disney park. That's right, no Matterhorn in Disney World, Tokyo, Paris, Shanghai, or Hong Kong. It's a Disneyland original through and through. It's not the tallest, fastest, or smoothest coaster, but it was the first of its kind. Without the Matterhorn, there's no Space Mountain, no Big Thunder, no B&M inverted coasters. It literally changed the game. And if you're wondering if it still holds up today, it depends who you ask. For die-hard Disney fans, it's a rite of passage. For first-time riders, it's a shock to the spine. And for coaster nerds, it's 2 credits. That's all that matters. We hope you enjoyed this coaster dive today into the Matterhorn Bobsleds. Now it's back to the studio with Ryan and Ferris.
And that's a wrap today, guys, here at the Coaster Dive into the Matterhorn, a ride that still somehow manages to realign your spine and your dignity.
Yeah, and somehow Disney's charging premium prices for a 60-year-old mountain with a Yeti that moves less than a Florida cast member on break.
It's still a classic regardless. It's paved the ways for generations of coasters to come. Were you not listening to anything we just went over?
So did Gravity. Doesn't mean I want to pay $200 to wait in line next to a screaming toddler in a $300 princess dress. Hit like and subscribe so Ryan doesn't have to start working crowd control at D23.